Welcome back to Couture Construction. I'm your host, Andrew Denny, and you're listening to Season 11, The Art of Storytelling and Design. Every design has a narrative, from the first spark of inspiration to the final reveal. This season, we're exploring how stories shape spaces, connect people, and leave a lasting impact on how design is experienced, understood, and remembered. Today's episode sits right at the intersection of design and storytelling. I'm joined by Julia and Matt Ryan, the creative force behind Design Proper, a new and upcoming platform created to spotlight design through immersive home tours, behind-the-scenes walkthroughs, and personal designer conversations. Each feature centers on a completed project chosen by the designer, paired with a relaxed, unscripted discussion that reveals not just the work, but the person behind it. Design Proper also pulls back the curtain on the broader design ecosystem, from fabrication studios to artisan workshops, highlighting the people and processes that bring creative visions to life. At its core, Design Proper is about helping designers attract more aligned clients, collaborators, and opportunities through authentic storytelling. Julie and Matt, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We're so happy to be here. And honestly, we can go because I feel like that was like the best introduction ever. You know?
Well, welcome. It's good to see you guys again, and good to catch up for a few moments. So, husband and wife team.
Yep.
What's the inspiration behind this? I work with my wife. I know that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Tell us about how you guys got into this.
Oh my goodness. Okay. I mean, there's so many different parts to it. So Matt comes from the creative world. I come from fashion, interior design. And I think when working with partners, interior designers, I really found that there was a gap in an elevated representation of their work that wasn't just an image. So being able to provide that to the interior designer, this outlet where they can show these projects that they've put so much work into. I mean, these projects take years to complete, in a way where people get to experience the whole thing was, I think, what motivated us at first. And then I think we also were kind of looking to focus more on what we love to do. We love to create. We love to tell people stories. We love design. I think we're both very interested in art and design. And so it just felt like a natural next step to dive into.
Right. Yeah. I believe it's, kind of the focus on the artisan behind design. I've always been, drawn to kind of telling the story behind creators, whether it's music or
so true.
Now interior design. But I think what was missing for us in the space was just kind of that focus on, the person behind the design.
That's such a good point, because we talk about that quite a bit. We definitely feel like the authorship is sometimes directed other places, and it's torn from the designer themselves. And I think that was really important to us. We really want to be able to speak to the artist behind the work. And sometimes with a lot of these, these reveals in these celebrity homes and stuff, you get distracted and you don't really get to hear from that artist. And so that was a huge part of this. We are all about supporting the artist. We always have been. We choose a lot of our projects that we do with that mindset. So I just feel like this was like a natural progression.
So I absolutely love the fact that you're kind of getting to the core of what humanizes the design.
Yeah,
exactly.
I know you guys are building a portfolio, and it's super exciting to hear what the motivation is behind it. Early results. Have you guys pulled a common thread? Like, is there a common thread that you're seeing emerge from, the underpinning of what makes things beautiful?
Common thread. I think something that we've found that I think has been surprising to both of us is, obviously we travel around and we go and film these designers all over the place. And I think one of the things we found is the designers are so appreciative of being represented in the way that they want to be represented. We always say when we go in there, we want to represent you better than you could even ever represent yourself. We want you to feel that way when you leave. The better you look, the better we look. The better we look, the better you look. You know, like this is a very collaborative effort. And I think having that appreciation every time we go somewhere and just seeing them have, you know, their projects that they've worked so hard on be represented in such a positive way is, I don't know, really fulfilling. And I think we've kind of seen that throughout each of the projects. So
yeah. I would say too, you know, I think when you start the conversation, something that can happen is there's a little bit of hesitance, like, you know, they're trying to feel out what this is going to look like, you know, how they are going to be represented. And I think once Julia kind of has that one-on-one with them, they are able to kind of feel reassured a bit. Yeah, I'd say you kind of hit it on the head with
I think it's the whole point really, and overall, and what we want people, the viewers and the people that we are filming to feel is we want them to feel like they are all involved and it is really collaborative and that they're supported. And so that's what we go in hopefully doing for these people and these designers. And I think we've gotten such a positive response. I mean, I think in the beginning it was so fun. I was, you know, I'm cold calling people. I'm like, hey, what's going on?
I want to tell your story.
Hey, like you don't know me, but I know you, and I want you to trust me in telling your story, which is a big deal for people. You know, this is their reputation. And so I'm on the phone, and after a couple of like the first phone calls, it was going pretty well. And now we're at the point where people are reaching out to us. And never did I think that would happen as quickly as it did, but there was such a need for that elevated representation through video too. And you know how video performs. It's taking over so many different platforms and things. The video is like the way to go, the way of the future. And so they saw that there is this team that really cares about them and wants them to be showcased in a beautiful way.
Yeah. So the nuts and bolts, how do you assemble that team? Like from a perspective of design proper itself, you guys are telling an intricate story. It requires a team. You mentioned video. What does it look like from a nuts and bolts perspective to produce and create the content necessary to be able to tell these stories?
No, such a good question. It's a lot of work. I mean, you are familiar. We had like the pleasure of featuring Andrew as well, and your episode will go out by the end of the year. So we're really excited about that. But you can kind of see how we like hustle around. It's a lot of work. I think the team we are very, very fortunate with the team that we have. We have worked with incredible people over the last 10, 15 years that we've been working in the creative field. And we've been able to build relationships with these people and develop this trust with these creators. And so when we were putting this together, we had a list of names that we were like, these are the people that we want to reach out to first and be like, do you want to be a part of this? Obviously, it's a huge thing to ask. Matt and I are bootstrapping it. It's not like we have all the money in the world to create a platform like this. And so we wanted to be really sharp and particular about who we chose to be on it. And as we were creating that list and reaching out to these people, fortunately, they were all like, absolutely, let's do it. They were so excited and inspired. And I think a lot of creatives don't necessarily get to go out and create all the time. You know, we have to keep food on the table. We have to do these jobs and make money for our families. And so I think just seeing us try to put together a little bit of a world where they can come in and really be themselves and create in the way that they want to create gave them an opportunity to make space in their lives to be involved.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you find compelling as you're targeting projects? Does it start with the project or does it start with the person?
Both.
Okay.
That is so. listen, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of designers, and I have been for a long time. So I do have a list of people that I'm like, oh, in my wildest dreams, I'd love to feature them.
Yeah.
And I'm really proud to say that the number one person that I had on my list for that, we are featuring.
Oh,
and
wow.
I couldn't even believe that. That's like something that I still am shocked to talk about today. But it's yes, these people that I've been super inspired by for the last 10 years with my style of home and my style of fashion, and Matt's too. We have people that we share back and forth through DMs and stuff. But there is also this beautiful part of design proper where we really want to feature emerging designers. We want to go and find these incredible people that don't have maybe the resources or this platform that's really big yet. And so a lot of people might not know about them, including us. And so it's a huge part of our job to really dig into the field and find these other people that we think have a spark.
Yeah, I think that's like a fun part of it too, is you get to
fun.
kind of research, and we never base anything off of how many followers somebody has or how popular they are in the space. It all boils down to what they do creatively and what stands out,
Yeah, if it's interesting, if it's different, if it's something that I'm like, whoa, I've never seen that before, I'm going to save this and maybe we can connect and talk about it.
Yeah.
But any sort of, I think, interesting things in their design like that. And then we also have a really big emphasis on working with good energy. And like, I know that people throw that around a lot, like energy, but it's very important to us. We only want to work with people that we feel we have that connection with.
Sure.
And I think one of the beautiful things about what I do and just like picking up the phone and calling or reaching out and asking to get on the phone with them is you can feel that through, conversation with people.
Yeah.
And so I think that's a huge part of it too. We'll know right off after we get off of a call, is this the right fit or not? We pretty much know.
Right.
Yeah.
It's interesting times that we live in. If you're a design enthusiast, and I'm sure that spans everything, but the proliferation of content has really been amazing, and it is, to your point in creating this, so inspirational to see the creativity that is emerging, from everywhere. I often talk about on this podcast, the lived environment that we're all experiencing now. And whether that's from a convenience store gas station that's new and you're like, wow, what is this place?
Yeah.
To, hospitality, to even long-term care, everything has just so much more intentionality behind it. What do you just from an industry perspective, do you see that momentum continuing and it seems like we are racing to new levels of creativity faster than at any time in my career?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that people are back to seeking individuality and true beauty. You're not really seeing things that look all the same being as successful anymore in the design world. I mean, you can get as basic as companies, they used to sell a full set that all looks the same. And now we're trying to find an individual unique piece for every single item that's in your room. And I think that's such a beautiful thing because it gives you the opportunity to express yourself and really let your space around you represent you. And I think that we have evolved in that so much, and it's fun. And I definitely think the momentum's going to keep going, especially with how much is popping up around, right? Like in Nashville alone, we have all of these amazing stores that are popping up, these antique stores, these creators, these artists, and these towns are just expanding and really focusing on the arts more. And that's something we love as creatives. We're so excited about it. And I hope it never stops. I hope the momentum keeps going.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to. So you guys tell stories.
Yeah.
And Julia, you are extracting the story through interviewing, and Matt, you're capturing that from a visual perspective.
Right.
Let me start with you.
Yeah.
Give us some an overview, or what tools you like to use to tell the story. And even, I'm picturing that in your world, it could be a silent movie for all intents and purposes.
Yeah.
Just walk us through how you prepare for that, what you look for. Like, how does that happen? Because to me, it's absolutely beautiful.
Right. I think fortunately, when we go into a shoot, we tend to start off with the conversation that Julia has with the designer or designers. From there, I'm listening to the whole thing, and I can kind of extract like things about these people that, I think is intriguing. So I kind of have that in mind when we go into the actual walkthrough. And, I like to kind of ask questions like while we're filming.
For sure.
Because there's so much going through their head at the time that
totally.
they're just thinking about like how do I look on camera,
Covering all these bases.
how can I make sure I talk about all these things, and
I shouldn't have worn this outfit.
I
mean, just
Exactly.
racing through it.
yeah. And so I think it's good to retouch on that humanistic connection, and just I think that's what I tend to lean towards in storytelling, even in the editing phase, is just finding those little moments, where there's some sort of connection to, maybe it's a piece that they've found, or a fabric that they,
Fell in love with.
yeah, exactly. And like, why? I think that's, for me, it's always why did you choose what you chose here?
I think you and the team are also really good at, because I kind of stand back and watch as they perform, right? They have all these tools that I have no idea what to do with. Like, don't get me near one. But I think what they're really good at, and what we really encourage, hopefully, as leaders, is chiming in. We like when our team hollers things from the back, hey, wait, you didn't talk. Wait, we want to know about that, and it's fun to have everyone kind of have their voice in these productions, because they're going to see things that we might miss, or the designer might miss. And designers, a lot of times, they're so deep in what they do that they can't see what maybe a viewer would gravitate to right away, because they're so deep, they're working with curtains 75, times a day. Whereas like a viewer might never even understand how a curtain works, like,
or what went into it.
What went into it, what the process behind it. And so it's really fun having the team involved in that.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you're asking about tools, Matt can talk about that.
I think
all
on the
day.
technical side too,
we'll be here all day.
well, I work with people that we kind of share a common interest in background, I guess, things outside of filming, but we're very inspired by a lot of things. It could be a movie, it could be music, it could be a type of editing that we are drawn to. And I think just like that intention of being able to do things the way you like, rather than having like 10 people, giving notes on something. It's really, we're really a nimble, small crew, and we get to kind of shape the narrative and the visual,
Yeah. I
think it's really cool.
I love that you said that it's a nimble, small crew, because as we said before, it was people that we've worked with. And I think one of the biggest deciding factors on those people that we even put on that list in the beginning was, can we trust them? Are they
good at what they do? And are they willing to continue to grow? And that's what we encourage when we go into a set. I don't really talk a lot, which is surprising. I don't really say much, because these people that are on our team can go in and capture everything so beautifully that I really don't have to interrupt or chime in ever. And I think Matt's really good at that. Like, I can go into a space
And Matt can come in with his camera and I can just look at him and he knows exactly what I need. And whenever I leave a set, I know that every single thing that I need is going to be captured. And that just speaks to the beauty of, I mean, you're incredible talent. Obviously, I'm a huge fan. And the incredible talent of the team.
Yeah. Well, and it's amazing. You know, I'm reflecting, I think we started this year or ended the previous season with Jill Cohn, who's the publisher and at Lux Magazine. And the conversation was about capturing, you know, the detail of these projects and letting those speak. And, you know, even if you distill down how one person uses an iPhone compared to another.
Great
the
example.
way, you know, the difference between two frames
Totally.
is enormous. And the talent for video is I think even probably more impressive, right? It's and we've been enamored as a culture by video since what, the 1920s when you know Steamboat Mickey or Steamboat Willie came out with animation on the big screen and everything else. So you had mentioned when we started the conversation how video is becoming such a more important aspect. And I have to imagine that's because it captures more than that singular moment in time than just, you know, a shot, which is, it's there and gone. It's in the ether, you know, from that moment forward, where video to me locks in, you know, more, it just tells more of the story.
Yeah.
I mean, it tells more of the story. So how have your guests seen that transformation in how their project is conveyed? Because to me, that's got to be a huge delineation of how they get to share what the project is.
No, it really is. We always say we don't like to compare the two really. And I think it's because they're both meant for different things. Yes, they both show the project, but that singular image and that beautiful story that's in these publications, like that has a reach, and there is somebody there that is absorbing these and devouring these every day and really enjoys them. And so I think that both of the content is so necessary. I think video gives just a different perspective. It is, it's taking you a little bit deeper. It's more opportunity to learn a little bit more, but it really is about, you know, how we are choosing to capture people and the process behind that pre-production process where we're like, okay, this is what we're hoping people can gain from this. How are we going to plan it out so that we can capture this, so that people can get more of the story that they might be interested in? I always say too, with designers, especially, you know, when they're considering being featured on Design Proper, we obviously want it to align for them as well, is we want you to be featured in both ways. Our ideal, and what I think would be the most beneficial thing for you, is to have these projects that you spend so much time and money on be featured as many times as they can be. So what we say is, I'm always like, get it published first. Get it, we'll wait, we'll hold, because I think that there are viewers for both. And yes, there's overlap obviously for for those viewers, but there are viewers for both. There are people that are going to pick up a magazine over watching a video online. There are going to be people doing the opposite. And so I think that there's so much room for both. I don't necessarily think it's like in competition with each other at all. And I think that designers can deeply benefit from both.
Yeah, it's really interesting because it's almost like a photo could be potentially more evocative and pull something. But it's so funny because I've been to many places where I've seen a photo and then you get there and it's very different.
Yeah, the feeling's different.
The feeling's incredibly different. And it's just that moment of time. It's the exact lighting. It's the time of day. It's such a brief moment.
Yeah.
Where video to me is just simply more realistic.
Yeah, it can't be as curated as a shot can
it's a
be,
little
right?
more out of control.
Yeah, it's more organic content. It's more content that really is.
Organic's a good way of putting it.
It really is. Organic's a great way to put it.
You also get to
Authentic.
You get to touch on the personal again, like the human aspect of it. You get to see them walking through the space and talking about it. So you are kind of learning more about the designer in that sense. You can read about it in a publication and like all the choices they made, but to actually hear somebody speak about it and watch them, kind of react to the space in real time, I guess, is like, it's a different foundation.
I think it definitely makes people feel more a part of it. Because I think when you're looking at a photo, it's almost like, wow, and awe, but do you really feel like you're a part of that room? You're having that conversation with that person. It's more so you're learning about that person. Whereas like these videos, we're inviting you in. We're welcoming you into the space. We're trying to get you the information that you, maybe as a viewer, if you were there, you would ask. And so I think there's that aspect too of we want everyone to feel like they can be a part of this.
What it's funny. I've participated, and it just thinking about what inspires you, and my feeling of when I participated, the storytelling behind it was fun, and it reminded me almost of like a CBS Sunday Morning type production where you got to understand people and really get a sense of personality and just what makes them tick and
their passions
really the
around
curtain being pulled back. So what are your inspirations? Like what did you look to when you were creating this that you were like, oh, if we could borrow pieces of this and this? Is there anything that you inspired you when creating it?
That's such a good question. I think Matt is probably going to have more of like artistic view inspiration.
I kind of pull things from, this may not really translate well, but I grew up skateboarding and I still kind of pull things from like old skateboard videos where it just feels like you're in the moment, you're awesome. There. And like, there's this kind of like grittiness to it. We're not like making really gritty stuff, but there are little elements of that kind of sprinkled in.
There's like that undertone coolness to it that you kind of get.
I think another thing that I've always loved is I love cooking. So like Chef's Table.
That is actually a huge one. That's one that people refer to a lot when we speak to them. People will bring that up to us and we're like, you nailed it.
There's a story there and there's a way, you can sit someone in front of a camera or walk them through, but to like really do it in a way where you are focusing on the details like you mentioned before and like just, I don't know, putting a different spin on it, making it kind of.
It's funny too, because I also feel like you're so inspired by a lot of things, but I feel like when you're working on a project that whatever it might be that we're like trying to throw together, I don't know, we do funny videos of things all the time. I feel like you're so focused on that project that you don't want to see anything else sometimes. Like you don't want to see anything. You're like, I just want to like do whatever comes up or comes in. Matt's like a creative. Dynamic. Every single bone in his body it's creative, is etched into it, I swear. But I try not to be like too influenced by like what's currently out, because I'm very aware that there are like trends that come and go. Absolutely.
Some stuff I think is cool, and I think I can pull things from different trends if I feel like it works. But for the most part, I think we're just pretty true to the things we like and the things that we kind of are drawn to.
Yeah. I think like you definitely have that artistic inspiration. I do too. Like I love fashion. I love, I get inspired by a lot of stuff in the fashion world. But beyond that, I am super inspired about about things that I've found are missing, like for myself. So I think when I made the transition from the fashion world to the design world, I really felt like there was so much information that I did not know, I did not understand. I wanted to feel like I could go in somewhere and be confident and comfortable in, purchasing hardwood floors. And that was like a huge motivation for us connecting with you, is like, I want people to be able to watch this and have that same confidence when they go, to know that they can come to you and be like, this is what I need. This is what I'm looking for.
Yeah. Like not afraid to ask questions. Really. Like we're all kind of just students
actively involved in the design world,
Well, it can be so intimidating to those
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
It seems so hoity-toity.
You don't have a degree. You don't have the title. Whatever.
How dare
it is.
you ask me?
Yeah.
And
that's what I loved about like the walkthrough, with you and Textures, was that we got to really ask those questions that I think there are plenty of people out there that, have the same questions about just flooring and material and like, what's the process like? I think those things are really important to expose and make other people feel confident in kind of exploring.
And even like viewers who might not be in the design world, but also new designers that are entering in the world that again might struggle with that confidence on what to ask, what to know, or designers who've been in the design world for a long time and might not know about these new, really well-performing offerings that you have, whatever it is. We're just trying to expose people in the most beautiful way we can.
I love that. There's kind of an educational component to it.
Yeah.
That's really cool. So what's next for Design Proper? Share with me what does this year look like? Walk us through that.
This year is a big year.
Yeah.
So this year we go live. We go live towards the end of this year. It's really exciting, really crazy. We have some big plans. We're doing a lot of filming this year. So we were just talking about it before we got on camera, but we're going to Europe.
Oh, wow.
And we do feature designers from all around the world, which is so fun. So we're going to Europe and we're featuring some amazing, phenomenal, again, dream of mine designers that I can't even believe I'm going to be sitting in a room with.
Wow.
And we'll be in Paris as well, featuring some designers in France, some in Germany and Poland, which is really exciting.
I can just picture it from the designer. And the aesthetic. It's going to be sleek.
It's just going to be really, And it's just been so fun to see how I think it just speaks to, yes, there's been a need for a platform like this because so many more people were on board than I thought. Like it took less convincing than I really thought. And I think once people saw some of the work that we were planning on doing or the work that we have already completed, they were like, wow, yes, I want to be shown in this way. Like, let's absolutely do it. And that's opened up so many opportunities for us to go abroad and like travel, and we get to bring our whole family. And with our teams, we encourage them to bring their whole families, and we try to, keep it very, open and fun and collaborative and balanced so all of that. And then we have a lot of things coming up when we launch. So we have a lot of giveaways. We do these things every month called shop drops, and it's where we drop into a shop. So it can be an antique shop, it can be a hardware shop, whatever it is. And we do these amazing giveaways.
Oh, cool.
Products that, you might not be able to afford on your own. You might be able to, but could be just fun to add to your home. So we have a lot of that coming up. What else?
I think you covered it.
Yeah, just a lot of collaborations.
What is the platform? Will you drop a bunch of content at once?
Great question.
Or will it be
episodic?
Kind of a drip. Okay.
Yes,
okay,
so it'll be episodic. Cool. Every week there'll be a new episode. And so that's kind of what we're working on right now. We're building up that library a little bit so that we can go live with an episode every week. We also, I mentioned before, we want designers to get published first. And that is a whole game in itself, right? That whole world, you are very familiar. It can take forever. And then after they get published, it can be 3 months before they can even share an image that they had onto their Instagram, before they can even share an image. And so we are really encouraging that though, because we want designers' projects to be seen as many times as they can be. And so we have a huge waiting period. We feature it next. And that's again, that image to video thing. We're not threatened by that at all, because we feel like we give a different perspective. But that is something that has contributed to the length of time it's taken to put this out. So,
Sure.
yeah.
So starting a new business, husband and wife team, what have been the challenges? And you know, I'd love just kind of perspective, personal and professional, and not like, you know, but like what have been the challenges? Because nothing ever goes as you think it's going to go.
Oh, for sure.
And oftentimes it turns out better than, you know, we constrain ourselves to thinking it's going to be. But, but new business, obviously dynamic.
Yeah.
Share with me, what have been the challenges?
I'll take this one.
Childcare? No, I don't know.
Childcare. So true. No, that really is probably one of our biggest, just consistent childcare. I would say Matt and I have worked together for such a long time. We have been doing this for a very long time that there's no one I would choose to work with more than him. Really. I genuinely feel that way. I just know we have like this deep understanding, trust, intuition, whatever you want to call it, where we know that the intention is always positive. So no matter if something goes wrong, it's never taken as, why did you do this? Or why did you do that? It's always okay, let's work together and figure out a solution. I feel like we're very, very good at that. I think the hardest things for us are, it's the money. We have people that are interested in investing, but we really wanted to bootstrap this ourselves. It was important to us. And that's challenging, right? You know, we work. We work every day. We have 3 kids. And so being able to support this endeavor and financially is a challenge. And there have been times where we're like, we have to put it on hold for 2 months. Okay. And 2 more months, we'll be able to schedule our next 3 shoots, whatever it might be. And so I think that would probably be the biggest challenge. Outside of that, I think our team, our relationship has been, I don't know, it's not even it's never a challenge.
I think it's important to be able to work with somebody that you don't have to worry about, you know, I guess. Yeah, I think it's more of a trust thing. Like we both trust that we are trying to move whatever project we are on forward in the best way. And
there's no competition. There's no any of that. Ego. So it kind of eliminates, there's no ego. It's easy. It's really easy for us to work together. And I feel like it sounds so, I don't know. Like what? I don't, but it's just for us, it's just always been kind of the natural way we've been able to do it.
I think with that trust in creating art. I mean, so you guys are covering art by creating art.
Yeah.
So if there's not a strong bond of trust there, then it's probably not going to end up the way that you would hope. So that's a beautiful thing. The money thing I think is very interesting. So give our listeners an idea about what it takes to create this. It's not as simple as again a lavalier and an iPhone, right?
No way, babe.
It's these are high production with people. You guys are bootstrapping it, but as collaborative as everybody else is, it's not, you know, their time, they're having to dedicate time.
Absolutely.
So what does it cost? I mean, this is, and you don't have to get into specifics, but I would love for our listeners to understand, like, great content takes a lot of money. I mean, we're sitting in a studio that this production
costs money to rent,
costs money.
Every little thing.
But we get a better result.
Absolutely.
And we can create something better. But 5 years ago, this wouldn't have been an option. It's where's Davis? You know, poor guy was sitting behind a used iPad or the MacBook, and that was it.
I'm glad you bring that up too, because I think for potential features, and you know, when we are kind of reaching out to designers, I think you know, viewers or people that are being filmed, like sometimes they don't know like what goes into a production. And like you said, every little thing that you use in that production costs something.
Costs money, costs something.
You know, or it costs to get a crew member to that location, including ourselves, you know? So, I mean, I mean, budget wise, it depends on where we're going, obviously. And how many days. Europe's not going to be cheap. How many days we're going to be there.
And this isn't paid promotion. So it's not like the people you're interviewing are like, hey, I'll fund this.
No,
because that would create a conflict. Yeah, right?
Exactly.
So
I'm so happy you brought that up too, because everything that we do this on our dime. And that was an intentional decision we made at the beginning. We didn't want to have to feel like we had to feature something.
Yeah, it's not a commercial.
No, it's about featuring the art. And when money gets involved, it kind of shifts from that. And so that was a huge part of why we've structured our business the way that we have. Budgets, man, they're too big. All right. No, they cost so
Julia produces
so
these,
much money. It is. Fortunately, we did have equipment before we started because we're obviously in this industry. So we did have a lot of stuff before we started, but to maintain, to purchase other things and needs, to work with people and pay them, it's a lot of money and it adds up really quickly. And I always say for a designer, if you're getting a full feature plus a sit down, conversation, those are 30-minute to an hour episodes, and it's 2 episodes. And so that, for us to give like a low ballpark number, minimum, I would say 20 grand, they would have to pay for something like that. And that's being scrappy. I would say, with the documentarians film it, we have editors, sound designers, we have colorists that do all of this other work outside of it. And those all cost a good chunk of change. So it is a lot of money. Every single episode is a very good investment. We're proud of the investment. We're always trying to make it work. But it takes a lot of effort. We don't come from backgrounds where things like this have been funded for us. Like we don't, so it really is Matt and I, and it always has been Matt and I. And I think that's another point to why we work so well together, is that this is our livelihood. This is what we are choosing to spend our time on, outside of our kids and stuff, where we're choosing to spend our time on. And so it needs to be intentional and it needs to mean something to us. And it really deeply does. A
great way of saying it. Like, we are doing this because we want to do it. And I think that, like, not having this be funded by whoever we're filming kind of gives us that freedom. And I think, I don't know, that's just
the risk is you guys are investing time and energy, and the reward is creating good content that people consume, and then you guys being able to harvest the fruits of that labor.
Right.
Like it's creating. So your motivation is creating world-class content, and that kind of feeds itself.
And it's always, I think Matt said this at the beginning, we have always been about supporting the artist. That is something that has been, we have never, if we don't feel like something aligns for us or has like an icky intention or whatever behind it, we're quick to say no. And I think that we're good at you're better than me, making decisions like that where you can say no. I'm more of a sucker. I'm like, maybe we can make it work,
They seem nice.
But Matt's like pretty, like, he'll be like, I don't think that aligns for us. And then I'll reconsider and be like, it doesn't. Sorry. We
goes back to the trust.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And it's a good balance between us. Like I'm a split brain through and through. I'm half and half. He's a total creative brain. So I do have that kind of more organized. I do all the pre-production planning
stuff I'm terrible at.
But Matt is really good at, I'm also a strong supporter. Like my entire life has been about, I think, supporting other people and helping them succeed. And I know that on all of my, Enneagrams and things like that you can take and see, like I've always been the supporter. And so I think Matt is a really good balance for me in that he's like, this time we're doing this for us and it's okay to say no and it's okay to do this. And I think that's been a huge learning curve over this last year and a half, 2 years for me.
Yeah. I think it's going to maintain the integrity of like what we do and the content that we put out, is being picky about what we decide to
being sure, we want people that are the best of the best, that are the best in their field. We came to you because we knew you were extremely educated.
Oh, that was an easy choice.
In what you do.
I mean, I don't want to be.
No, I'm just saying,
Exactly.
like, there is a lot of thought.
The Michael
that
Jordan
also,
of flooring. I mean,
there's a lot of thought that goes behind every single choice we make and who we feature. And we do these walkthroughs with designers and these sit downs with designers. And then we also do these vendor walkthroughs like we did with you.
Yeah.
And every single one of those, there's also all of that time that's spent on there. That costs money. That's my time away from my family and away from, my job. I have a job, so it really is like, it costs a lot, but it's worth it.
well, final topic that I want to
Yeah.
talk about on, and I think again, just to give perspective, walk us through the process, and if you can share, obviously our listeners know I've participated in this, but give us an example of others that have participated that you can kind of talk about pre-release, and then really, how the process starts for you to identify potential good fits.
Okay.
And because I would love for our listeners to understand somewhat the breadth of, because really, joking aside, I'm a flooring company based in Nashville, Tennessee, but here you're going over to Paris to talk to world-class designers. We're not the same. I'm not the same as that. So to me, clearly there's a breadth of content and personality and parameter that you look for. So would you just share like what that looks like and maybe some examples of
So I'm going to pop the bubble for a sec, but we can't share who we're featuring.
Okay.
And it's because we have kind of an Easter egg release.
Yeah,
so
that's
we
totally fine.
share a little bit about each designer and give people the opportunity to kind of guess. And it's really fun. It's all a part of our marketing and it's going to be a blast. Anyway, and it has to do with giveaways and things like that. But I will say that I know you mentioned, Nashville and then Paris. There is incredible talent everywhere.
That's
There
for
are
sure.
people that are, again, incredibly educated in their craft everywhere. And I think that people kind of sometimes get hung up on, well, who's seen the most? Who's exposed the most? And that's not what we're looking for. When I consider a designer, I go through, I look at their most recent projects. If everything looks the same to me, it's a no. And it's not in the sense of, is it on brand? If it's on brand, I totally understand, but are they producing kind of the same thing for each client that they're going through? Because you do see that repetitiveness a lot in design too. And I think that's, that has a lot to do with the designer and what point they're at in their life. But I'm not looking for anything that looks the same every single time they do a project. I want to see different projects that represent that give them more of an opportunity to express their creativity. And so I'll look through, that's what I'll do first. I'll get a designer, I'll look through kind of their past projects. I'll sometimes watch a couple of things that they might have been in, if they've been in anything. It doesn't deter me if they haven't. And then I'll directly reach out. And it's really as simple as that.
Okay.
They'll either pop up on my page as someone, I'll hear about them through the world, I'll get connected to them through a feature that we've done with somebody else. I'll sit and do my research. I get Lux, I get AD, I get all of these shelter magazines, I have stacks and stacks all around my house. So I'm constantly looking through those. And if I see a designer, I'll go through that process of looking through their other spaces. And if I see them doing things that are interesting and I haven't seen before, or they're really sharp in the field or aesthetic that they're in, that's when I'm like, I gotta call this person.
Sure.
And then I'll cold email and I will cold call people, you guys. I'm a caller. Yeah. I'll call them.
Is it limited to the design world, or are there additional entities and parameters? Like, can it be about a thing, or does it have to be about a person?
Yeah. It's I don't want to say it's limited to the design world, because I think everybody has a different idea of what that world includes. But
Good point.
It's very much focused on the interior designer. I'm not going to lie about that. Like that is one of the biggest reasons we really want to feature the artist. And I think the narrative has become has removed the artist so much from things that sometimes I'm looking through articles these days and I'm like, who even did this space? You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to know who actually did this art. I just can't even find them. So it is a lot about that. But we also touch on all of these other elements. We touch on these shops that support the interior design business. We touch on these vendors that are partners of these interior designers. We go to incredible places and feature, you know, not only homes, but we've featured hotels. We've featured places, but it all ties back to design. To design. So when we feature a place like that, we're speaking to the people who designed the space, because we really want it to be focused on the art.
Yeah, I think. Yeah. To touch on, like, when you brought up, you know, we're going in and there are so many people connected to the design of one space. It's, you know, it starts with the interior designer, but there's so much support within that. And I think a common thread that I can touch on that I've learned doing these is that each designer is very grateful for the collaboration they have in designing that space as well, right? Whether it is who they use for
pay
floors.
homage.
Yeah, they do. And I think that's really cool.
And if they don't, we're not interested. You know, like, we want it to feel that way.
So it's kind of, it exposes.
Truly takes a village.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
It exposes more artists involved outside of just the interior designer as well. So I think it's a really positive
Now,
thing.
in an age of, you know, digital, it is unbelievable when you walk in. And this is just something I'd want our listeners to understand, you know, because I share this sometimes with people that think it grotesque to spend on, you know, these beautiful spaces. And when you walk into these spaces, understand the amount of hands that were involved and the support that literally flows from that, not only from a monetary standpoint, but from a creativity standpoint, for there being a market for people getting to do what they're passionate about. And, you know, I think that's really what you guys are sharing. I think it's really unique. Those, you know, just, there's so much that people have to touch to make real things.
Right.
Yeah.
And, it's a neat thing. The story really deserves to be told.
Right.
It's also kind of that the interior designer, there's sometimes represented or assumed, or like that they just come in and make things pretty, but they're solving problems. They're finding people. They're literally digging through bins to find the absolute best thing for your space. They're trying to build an environment for you where you can thrive with yourself, with your family, whoever it might be that's sharing in that space. And every single piece of that matters to them. And I think that gets lost too for these designers. Like, they are so talented and have to be in so many different ways and have these incredible teams behind them that help support them creating these spaces. But they sometimes just get, I don't know, not as much acknowledgement, I just think that they deserve
the end result seems easy.
Seems easy.
Yeah.
That's a great way to put it.
Anything but that.
And absolutely.
It is months or years of intention.
Absolutely.
The end result seems easy. And that's the magic.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's truly the magic.
Yeah,
and
very interesting.
And that's the problem with where we are.
Yeah.
And that's the problem you're solving.
Yeah.
Is shining a light that it's not that. It's one of the same reasons we started Couture Construction was the stories and people behind beautiful spaces.
Yeah.
It's hard if it wasn't hard, it would be cheap, and everywhere you went would be absolutely stunning, and functional. So I think that's really, really cool. So this has been a great conversation. I'm really excited for Design Proper. I think it's going to be a big success, and it's going to tell a lot of story about the industry that people will love and create more perspective. So thank you guys for doing that.
Thank you, Andrew.
Rapid fire. You guys will each have to answer this. Matt, we'll start with you. Go-to comfort meal.
Ooh, I would say any kind of curry. I love curry.
Yeah, man, after my own heart.
Yeah. So
Loves curry. He's also great at making curry.
Yeah, our kids love it too.
Yes.
So that'd probably be mine.
Yeah, wonderful. And it's so comforting. This is curry season, right?
Yes.
Yeah, this is curry season.
Perfect time. Okay, mine would be a chicken pot pie. I love a chicken pot pie. And then I also comfort would be, what's that soup that I get at International Market?
Cow tom.
Cow tom soup.
Wow.
It's so good. And if I'm like want something comfy cozy, that's what I'm picking up. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
You guys, great taste buds. Okay, next one. What word best describes your mindset as we start 2026? Matt?
I would say expansive. I think, scalability in what we're doing, and maintaining, the integrity of what we're doing as well. And kind of,
Absolutely.
making sure everyone's in our set, our crew and on set is, kind of having a good time. Yeah.
Very cool. I like that word.
Mine is unrushed, I think. I'm just so focused on giving what we're doing the time and the space that it deserves. Every single thing that we do, we want these people to feel seen and heard, the people that are on the camera and the people that are consuming what they're going to be able to see, and I just think that takes time.
Yeah, that's great. Pay homage and wait for it to work itself out.
Yeah.
Okay, finish this sentence. A well-told design story should always
speak to somebody, not everyone.
Okay. Matt? Can't copy.
Can't copy.
I had something.
What do you think? An untold, or wait, what is the
A
question?
well-told design story should always include video.
Yeah. We can cut this in, but I had something without losing soul.
Yeah, you're like, evolve without
I would
losing
say,
soul.
okay, I'm going to say a well-told design story should always evolve without losing soul.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
Timeless. Yeah, that's good.
My
Okay.
guy.
This has been very fun. Thank you.
Well, okay. I thank you guys, and I really enjoy the time with you guys. Julia and Matt, thank you for creating space for the design community to be seen, heard, and understood, not just through their work, but through their why. Design Proper reminds us that behind every good design, there's a story waiting to be told. To our listeners, hopefully it's more than just the listener. Hi, Dad. If today's episode resonated, be sure to follow along as Design Proper officially launches and continues to spotlight designers in a way that feels thoughtful, immersive, and deeply human. Next week, we close out season 11 with a powerful conversation on what happens after the work is done when design becomes brand. Join us for the final episode of the season as we sit down with Dylan Arnold of House of Black and Brant Lyons of On Brant, exploring how storytelling, identity, and brand strategy shape how design is seen, shared, and remembered. Thanks for listening to Couture Construction. This episode was produced by the Cast Collective and Chelsea Rand. Until next time, keep cultivating creativity.